In the age of AI, what does it actually mean to be visible? We used to think it was simple, right? Just show up in a search result. But now it's a much, much deeper and way more complicated question. So let's get into it.
Because here's the thing. Being visible in this new era isn't just one thing anymore. It's really a battle being fought on two completely different fronts. And you've got to understand both if you want to have any chance of navigating this new world. So on one side, you've got the technical stuff, being seen by the AI. This is the whole world of search, SEO, rankings, basically making sure the algorithm can find you and knows what you're all about. But then on the other side, there's the cultural challenge, being seen in the AI. And this is about fairness, representation, and whether the stories and people AI shows us actually reflect the world we live in. These two things are totally connected.
But before we can even really talk about being visible, we have to deal with this giant hurdle that pretty much affects everything else. A serious, deep-seated lack of trust from the public. A huge global study in 2023 from KPMG and the University of Queensland found that 61% of people are wary about trusting AI systems. That's not a small number. That's nearly 2 out of every 3 people looking at this technology with a healthy dose of suspicion right from the get-go.
And this quote really gets to the heart of why. The study found that, on average, only about half the people out there believe the cool stuff AI can do is actually worth the potential downsides. So what that tells us is that the public, they're just not sold on it yet, not by a long shot.
And check this out. When you dig into what people are afraid of, it gets really interesting. The number one concern globally is cybersecurity risk at a massive 84%. But right up there, too, is the fear of AI bias at 58%. These fears are real, and they totally shape how people see and ultimately trust the information AI gives them.
So, you have to ask, where is all this distrust coming from? Well, a massive piece of the puzzle is the media. The stories we see, the headlines we read, they create the lens through which we all view this incredibly complex tech.
Research by Luke Williams, who analyzed thousands of articles, found that news coverage keeps hitting these same notes over and over. See a pattern here? So many of these frames, like misuse and misinformation or ethical challenges, are all about conflict, danger, and concern. This isn't just neutral reporting. It's actively shaping our collective anxiety.
And that brings us to the other side of this whole visibility problem. It's not just about how we see AI. It's about something way more critical. How AI sees us. Or maybe more importantly, who it just doesn't see at all.
Now, to really get this, we need to borrow a concept from linguistics called markedness. It's basically the idea that in our language and our culture, we have these invisible defaults. Certain things are just assumed to be the norm, while everything else has to be specifically marked or pointed out as different.
This quote from researcher Tarleton Gillespie just nails it. Think about it. We say gay wedding, but we just call a straight one a wedding. The straight wedding is the unmarked default. It's the baseline. And this isn't just about words. It's about what our society, and by extension our AI, considers to be normal.
So what happens when this bias gets baked into an AI? Gillespie asked a model to write a generic love story 200 times. And the results? Look at this. They're just stunning. Out of 200 stories, 177 were explicitly about straight couples. And an explicitly LGBTQ+ couple? It happened once, just one time. That is markedness in action. The AI's default setting for love is overwhelmingly straight.
Okay, so we've got a crisis of trust on one side and a crisis of representation on the other. How in the world do you fight for visibility on both fronts? Well, it starts by earning your spot, not by trying to trick an algorithm, but by tackling that public distrust head-on.
So, according to the pros at Ahrefs, the new playbook for getting your website seen in the age of AI isn't about gaming the system. It's about building real trust with actual people. First up, build real topical authority. That means going deep, becoming the undeniable expert on your subject. Cover it so well that both people and AI see your site as the go-to source. Second, create human-first content. Forget keyword stuffing. This is about actually solving someone's problem, answering their questions better than anyone else out there. And third, and this is crucial, go where your community actually is. Jump into the Reddit threads, the niche forums, the YouTube comments where real people are talking, and become a trusted voice in that conversation.
And that's the real secret here, isn't it? These aren't just technical SEO tricks. They are honest-to-goodness strategies for building the very trust that KPMG study showed is so desperately missing. When you create amazing, helpful, human-centric content, you're not just making yourself more visible to an AI. You're building a foundation of trust that makes your visibility actually mean something.
So as we wrap this up, it's pretty clear that this whole challenge is a really delicate balancing act.
On the one hand, yeah, we absolutely have to do the work to get seen by the algorithm, using those strategies that build authority and trust.
But, and this is the hard part, we have to do all of that without accidentally making those harmful defaults even stronger, without reinforcing those cultural blind spots that leave so many people completely invisible.
And that really leaves us with the biggest question of all. It's not just about how to get seen by AI. It's about how we, all of us, can build an AI that is finally capable of seeing everyone,